I don't want to waste time. I'm looking around. The worst nightmare you could probably have is if you don't really recognize films when you're here. Then you look like the one idiot that didn't understand the Criterion Collection. It's a lot of pressure. Now that I'm here, I'm just putting you in the mindset like, what if I go, where is it? And I don't understand any of the good movies, and I'm asking for, 27 Dresses, which is big New York movie, but not necessarily a Criterion movie. Although you never know. 20 years from now, 27 Dresses could be like, reappraised as one of the great. It'll be like Taxi Driver, like a real. When you really get to see New York, you get to see it through 27 Dresses. Let's get back to business. This is one of my favorite movies of all time, but I don't want to take it. Mona Lisa. I'm not taking it because I've seen it too many times, but it's amazing. Bob Hoskins, The Long Good Friday, Mona Lisa. That Bob Hoskins was a beast. Then you got Rififi, which I've seen. Everybody's seen that. And Big Deal on Madonna Street, which is really my favorite. I like that more than Rififi. I don't like to say that out loud because it shows my ignorance. But, just between you and me, I like Big Deal on Madonna Street better. Just there's all kinds of side scenes. Everybody's dancing and there's big fights in the dance hall. It's fun. My Life as a Dog. You ever see this movie? This is one of the great movies of all time. If you haven't seen this movie, I promise you, it's amazing. There's no way to describe it. It's Swedish. The beginning is him with his family. His family dies, and he's trying to pick up a glass of milk at the family table. Even if you just watch the first 5 minutes, you're going to be glad you saw that movie. This, Le Petit Soldat. And I know you people are saying, oh, look at him, he's being pretentious. Le Petit Soldat. But, Godard. Soldat, Godard. But anyway, I've always wanted to see this movie because I've heard amazing things about it. And I just watched the other movie about the Algerian task force, Day of the Jackal. I used to go to a video store, 1998, right at the end of video stores. And the woman that ran the video store was this old Persian lady. She didn't even own it. She was just the clerk. And she was very sick and very old. And she had the best taste in movies, better than Tarantino's Redondo. She would go, try this. And she turned me on to, Color of Paradise, just all these movies from every country she was never wrong. And I'd be like, oh, it's going to be a slow mo. She goes, you like this? And it was unbelievable. And she passed away and the video store closed, of course. But it was like, she was one of the most amazing people. And she had the best taste in movies of anyone I've ever. It was really an amazing thing. I hope I run into her someday in the afterlife. That's all I can say. Well, what I really want to talk about is Roma. Now, a lot of you people are saying, Roma, it was all over the place. No one's denying that. But what a beautiful, love story to the city of Rome. Even though a lot of people said it doesn't remind them of Rome. But if Fellini says it's like Rome, who are you to argue? Fellini said, this is my Rome. And a lot of critics were like, well, we don't really listen, I'd like to make this about New York. I'd like to make my version of Roma, New Yorker. You understand? So Something Wild. This movie, Carol Baker, she was in, her husband and her made this movie. But it's got all these shots of New York, like all these New York shots. And by the way, the most brutal, it's a movie ahead of its time. She gets raped, doesn't tell anybody, and has PTSD. I don't want to give you the whole plot. But anyway, it's a very small movie. It was ahead of its time. It was, I watched it, and I was like, nobody thought about this stuff until the 90s, really. What happened? This movie's like 1960 or 1959. But anyway, it's also got, here's the thing. When you're from New York and you're old like me, you love to see old New York, like Smithereens. Who would have ever thought this was old New York? But when I watch it, I'm like, oh my God, I miss New York, the way it was. I know everyone's seen this one. I know you've all seen Naked. How incredible is this movie? I can't even tell you the plot. Like, if you ask me, what's the plot? I'm like, it's hard to explain, but it's just, it's amazing. You want to kill the guy, but you love him. You know what I mean? It's nuts. Claudine, by the way, another amazing New York movie. It's like Edgecombe Avenue or something. It's all these shots of New York in 1971 just bring back my little childhood. So that's why I always love it, And that was another good one. James Earl Jones, the garbage man. Claudine's working in there. She's a cleaning lady and the kids, and it was really good. Guys, thank you very much. This is, do you believe it? It's like being in a candy store when you were a kid.